investigation concluded and make sure that we have all the evidence that needs to be collected and gathered before we make that determination to release. We've coordinated also with our federal partners, with the U.S. Attorney's Office, State Attorney General's Office, just to see if there was any concerns from their end, if we needed to hold on to the body. We have given our approval to release. I have been advised that it sounds like the family involved has requested an independent autopsy. Sometimes that does take place in a case. It certainly wouldn't be the first case to do a second autopsy, and probably won't be the last, but certainly we're going to allow that and try to accomplish that second autopsy as soon as possible. That may, cause some additional delays as far as getting those pathology reports back, but that's certainly going to be important for our office. Ultimately, when we receive the SIU reports, pathology is obviously very important, especially on a case like this, as with any other homicide. So we are going to, that may cause a slight delay, but I think in interest of everything moving forward, it sounds like that should take place in the near future. We anticipate that assisting this process to continue to move along. The other thing that our office has been contacted about is the concern for witnesses. It's really important for people to understand. One of the goals that I think we've had and established in our community is the importance of being able to work with victims of crime, work with witnesses of crime that may not be here with documentation. In other words, people that might not be here legally, they have concerns in talking with law enforcement. We have done a very good job, I think. We could certainly obviously do better, but our outreach to the Latino community has been that if you've been a victim of a crime, or if you've been a witness to a crime, if you cooperate with that investigation, you cooperate with any prosecution that might come later, there's a process in my office that I usually work with, like Northwest Immigrants' Rights Project. We work with something called a U visa. What that simply does is it doesn't grant citizenship, it doesn't grant legal status, but it's a tool that we use to basically indicate to the immigration and customs folks that this individual has cooperated with law enforcement, they were a victim of a crime themselves, and that allows some additional time to continue or allow the legal process to take place. So I want that to be out there because I recognize there could be a lot of witnesses. As Sergeant Lattin indicated, this occurred at a busy time of day, very busy intersection, one of our busiest in Pasco. So we anticipate there's probably a lot of other witnesses out there that may have saw something and they might be hesitant to come forward. So we clearly want to make sure that we have all witnesses, and if there is a concern for that, I just want to let that go out there that we've worked with several of our attorneys in the community that specialize essentially in immigration work, and we will continue to work with them in processing paperwork. Sometimes this is for crimes that have occurred several years before, but I think it's important in our office and in our community especially that people understand that, look, just because you're not here legally, if you've been a victim or you cooperate, we're going to do everything that we can to make sure that that gets part of consideration. As far as the other timelines we've talked about, it's really hard to guess. Like Sergeant Lattin indicated, this has the highest priority at the state level. State lab is working things quite quickly compared to other serious cases, and this is a serious case. So we will continue to wait for that. Toxicology will come in, and that's a necessary report from the state toxicology lab before the pathologist can conclude their report. So again, that's kind of the process where we're at right now. Most important thing for us, I believe, is just to make sure that we can identify, get all these witness interviews concluded so that the SIU investigation can conclude as quickly as possible, and then of course send that off to our office. So.
With that, any questions?
Yes.
Have you had to subpoena